They cried not just for pain, but for a love that vanished. Their mother's arms caught the sorrow you left behind. Their tears were quiet battles fought in the name of love. You left their heart bleeding, their tears unseen. They cried in silence, screaming for a love that forgot them. Their tears whispered secrets your heart refused to hold. You were the absence that taught them how to weep alone. They cried because your promises shattered their fragile trust. Their heart storm was measured in tears you never noticed. They cried to their mother for a love you couldn't give. Their tears were the echoes of a love that slipped away. You left them drowning in tears, begging for your return. They cried quietly, hoping their pain would find its way to you. Their tears held the pieces of a love that broke apart. You were the wound, their tears the healing balm. They cried because loving you meant breaking themselves. Their mother held the tears you never wanted to see. Their tears were love letters to a heart that didn't stay. They cried for the love you lost before it could grow. Your absence taught them how to love through tears alone. They cried because love felt like a silent battlefield they fought alone. Their tears mapped the ruins of a love you abandoned. In every tear, a prayer for the us you never fought for. Their mother's arms held the heartbreak you refused to heal. They cried for the love that vanished before it bloomed. Your absence was a wound bleeding tears only they could shed. They carried your silence like a weight that broke their spirit. Their tears were the soundtrack of a love left unfinished. They cried not for pity, but for the truth you ignored. The love they mourned was hidden in every quiet tear. They cried in shadows where your warmth never reached. Their tears whispered stories your heart never dared to hear. You left them drowning in sorrow, praying for your return. Their mother caught the pieces of a heart shattered by you. They cried for healing, for love lost to your neglect. Their tears spoke louder than the promises you broke. You taught them silence, but their tears broke through the quiet. They cried because your love was a ghost haunting their soul. Their heart's ache was a language only tears could translate. They cried quietly, hoping their pain would reach your heart. Your absence was the storm that drowned their hope in tears. Their tears were prayers for a love you never returned. They cried for the warmth you promised but never gave. Their sorrow was a river flowing from your cold indifference. You left them with tears as the only proof of love's absence. They cried behind smiles, their tears the truth you never saw. Their mother's arms held the love you failed to protect. They cried because your silence spoke louder than words. Their tears were a mirror reflecting your forgotten love. You were the wound, their tears the healing no one witnessed. They cried for the love buried beneath your neglect. Their heart broke quietly, tears falling where no one looked. They cried because loving you meant carrying endless pain. Their tears were silent screams for the love you abandoned. You left their soul aching in the echo of tears. They cried to their mother, hoping she could fix what you broke. Their tears were the remnants of a love that slipped away. They cried for the us that only they believed in. Their sorrow was written in the tears no one noticed. You were the absence that taught them how to cry alone. Their tears held the pieces of a heart you never mended. They cried because your promises faded into silence. Their tears were prayers for a love that never returned. You left them drowning in tears, waiting for your love. They cried quietly, hoping their pain would find its way to you. Their tears spoke the truth your heart refused to see. They cried for the love that died in your neglect. Their mother caught tears you were too blind to notice. Their tears were the last words their broken hearts spoke. They cried because your absence was the loudest pain. Their tears were rivers flowing from a love left behind. You left them with tears as the only proof of your love. They cried in silence, longing for what you never gave. Their tears whispered secrets your heart was too cold to hold. They cried because your love was a lesson in absence. Their tears were the echoes of a love that slipped away. You were the wound, their tears the healing balm they needed. They cried because loving you broke them softly inside. Their mother held the tears you never wanted to see. Their tears were love letters to a heart that didn't stay. My dear, they cried to their mother about you. Love's silent wounds run deeper than you know. Tears spilled behind closed doors. Your absence echoes louder than any spoken word. They whispered your name through sobs no one else heard. In quiet desperation, your shadow filled their mother's arms. Their heart bled secrets only a mother could understand. They begged for answers no one could give, because it's you who left them unanswered. They cried not for pain, but for the love you never showed. Beneath the tears, a longing for what you promised, but never gave. They clung to their mother's warmth, aching from your cold silence. The nights you ignored them, they screamed to the dark in tears. They carried your absence in their chest like a weight too heavy to bear alone. Your name became their quiet curse, whispered in midnight prayers. Their cries weren't for you, they were for the us you abandoned. They sought comfort in their mother's arms because you forgot how to hold them. Tears are truth no lie can bury. Listen to what their silence screams. You left scars no apology can erase. they told their mother in tears. Their broken heart was your mirror, reflected pain you refused to face. Behind every tear is a story you never wanted to hear. They cried for the why you never dared to answer. In their mother's embrace, they hid the hurt you caused. Your absence was the loudest sound in their quiet sobs. They didn't just cry, they screamed your name in despair. Their tears were prayers for a love you couldn't give. The wounds you made bled in secret, whispered only to their mother. They mourned a love lost before it truly began. Their silence broke in sobs, shattered by your indifference. Tears are the soul's language when words fail you. They cried in shadows you never cared to illuminate. Your neglect taught them how to weep alone. Every tear they shed carried the weight of your betrayal. The love they hoped for died quietly in their mother's arms. They cried because your promises were empty echoes. Their heart broke so softly, only their mother could hear. They hid their pain behind smiles, but their tears told the truth. You were the ghost in their tears, haunting every quiet moment. Their mother held their sobbing truth, while you remained deaf. You taught them silence. Now their tears scream for justice. The cracks in their heart cried rivers you refused to notice. They cried not because they were weak, but because you were cruel. Your absence was a wound that only tears could speak. They begged for your love. In tears their mother caught. Every tear was a secret you weren't ready to face. Their tears were the loudest confession of your love's failure. They cried in the dark, hoping someone else would see their pain. The love they sought drowned in the tears you caused. Your silence carved wounds deeper than words ever could. They cried to their mother because you never learned to listen. The weight of your neglect fell heavy on their fragile heart. Their tears were prayers for healing from your absence. They cried not to break, but to survive what you broke inside. Your love was a storm that left them drenched in tears. They hid their sorrow from the world, but not from their mother. Their tears painted the truth you refused to see. The pain you caused became their quiet rebellion in tears. They cried because you chose distance over healing. Their heart's silent scream echoed in every tear they shed. You never saw the tears behind their brave face. They cried because your love was a lesson in absence. Their tears were rivers flowing from a love never returned. They told their mother, "I loved him, but he left me crying." Your absence was a wound that no time could heal. They cried to their mother, hoping she'd fix what you broke. Their tears were the price of loving someone who didn't stay. They held on with tears when you let go with words. Your silence was the storm that drowned their hope in tears. They cried for the us that only they believed in. Their tears were prayers for a love that never came home. You were the echo in every tear they cried alone. They cried because they trusted you with a heart you betrayed. Their mother caught tears you were too blind to see. The pain they carried was written in the tears they shed. They cried softly, hoping you'd finally hear their broken heart. Their tears were the last words their silence ever spoke. You left their soul aching, their tears unending. They cried to their mother because your love was never enough. Their tears held the stories your lips refused to tell. You broke their heart quietly, their tears screamed loudly. They cried for healing from wounds you didn't even know you caused. Their tears were prayers for love they never received from you. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more.